Good evening. Separate or together? The sages disagreed as to how to eat the matzah and the maror at the Passover Seder properly. The Talmud in Tractate Brachot teaches that mitzvot should not be performed bundled together. Chavilot, chavilot. Why? Because we do not want to give the impression that mitzvot are a burden upon us, an unwanted obligation that we wish to quickly discharge. For example, we would never reuse leftover Kiddush wine for Friday night and use it for Havdalah. We would take a fresh new cup. Similarly, one would expect that the mitzvah of eating matzah and maror should be performed separately. Hillel's custom, however, was to combine the Pesach and the matzah and the maror and eat them together. A sandwich, the famous Hillel sandwich. Why did Hillel join these mitzvot together? To understand Hillel's opinion, Rabbi Avraham Yitzchak HaKohen Kook examines the significance of matzah and maror. And with your permission, I would like to directly quote from his golden quill. Matzah is a symbol of freedom. But what is freedom? Freedom does not mean to sit idle and unemployed. True freedom is the opportunity to grow and develop according to one's true inner nature, without the interference of foreign influences. This freedom is symbolized by matzah, a simple food consisting only of flour and water, unaffected by other ingredients and chemical processes. The formation of the Jewish people as a holy nation required that their national character be free of all foreign influence. They left Egypt retaining none of the Egyptian spiritual or cultural heritage and baggage. Before offering the Passover sacrifice, they were commanded to remove and take for yourselves a sheep. They needed to remove that small measure of Egyptian idolatry that clung to their souls and replace it. Now, without any national character of their own, the divine character could be ingrained upon Israel's national soul. This is an aspect of the matzah metaphor. It lacks any shape and taste of its own, so that the desired form and flavor may be properly imposed upon it. Maror is the opposite of matzah. It symbolizes servitude. But even servitude can have its positive value. An individual, say, whose life's ambition is to be a doctor, understands that he must spend many years in medical school before finally achieving his desired goal. The long years of concentrated effort require great dedication and discipline. These years are a form of slavery, servitude, but a servitude that serves one's inner goal, and thus ultimately complements the true expression of freedom. This concept can also be applied to the Jewish people. Our souls are ingrained with a divine character, but there is a dross that clings to us and prevents us from realizing our true inner natures. For this reason, we need to accept upon ourselves a servitude, a pleasant form of servitude, which is the service of God. We acquired this talent through our bondage in Egypt. After removing the negative aspects of slavery, we are left with its positive contributions. It is though this trait that we are able to accept that which goes against the desires of the moment, creates a high level of spirituality within us. This is the message of Maror. Acceptance of the bitter side of life with the knowledge that before us lays a higher objective. For this reason, we eat the maror only after eating the matzah, after we have clarified our ultimate goal. And now we can understand Hillel's opinion. Says Rav Kook, freedom as symbolized by matzah reveals the divine character of Israel and their innate love for God, His Torah, mitzvot. It is this very force that gives us the ability to overcome our inclinations that do not yet match the overall elevated goal. It is through our persistence and our tenacity towards that overall goal that the inner power of freedom is fully revealed. Both freedom and servitude need to act without interference from the other. When freedom is appropriate, it should not be limited by a servile attitude. And when discipline and a sense of obligation are needed, they should not be disrupted by a desire for freedom. Thus, according to the majority opinion, matzah and maror should be eaten separately. Hillel wants to stress that the final goal is attained only with the recognition that these two forces do not contradict one another. Joined together, they represent the highest freedom, whose nobility and power is only revealed when it bears the crown of lofty servitude, the service of the Holy King, which is the ultimate and complete expression of freedom. Thus, Hillel would eat the matzah and maror together. He sought to emphasize that freedom and slavery are not contradictory. They deal with distinctly separate stages, but they ultimately serve one goal. Yes, servitude belongs more to the initial preparatory stage, but in the overall scheme of things, the two forces are intertwined, influencing and complementing one another. The highest form of freedom, then, is when it is combined with servitude. Then, and only then, can one find his true independence, befitting for one who is truly free. When one can control even the greatest of his powers, the power of freedom. Yes, this Passover is different from all over Passovers. Even though we may be quarantined inside of our homes, we are not bound by temporal dimensions. For this night is the night of our freedom, a sentiment which exceeds space and transcends time.